I've done that ever since
Yeah.
we were kids.
Yeah.
Remember Boosh?
Yeah.
Okay, I think we've done that. Yes. All right, guys, we are live. Hello, everybody. Heather here, and it's we are. It's been a day. It's always been a day, but had to move some things around. I promise. The goal is to get to a consistent schedule so that you guys know. All right, Friday at this time, we're gonna go live. Um, so hopefully we can. It's all me. It's always me. Sorry. But anyway, Carissa's here, my accountability partner. Carissa, what's up?
Hey.
Hey, all right. So, to add to the to the craziness, I might actually need to leave at 2 o'clock, depending on whether my client calls me. But if they don't, then I can stick around for longer than that. But anyway, hello. If you're new to this show, if you're new to my channel, my name is Heather. I'm documenting my entrepreneurial journey and promoting digital literacy here on this YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Carissa Ortega or Just Kissa on all the social things and on YouTube is my accountability partner. And basically, Empowered Entrepreneurs is our live stream show where we do our accountability sessions live with you here so that you can, have this peek into how we, kind of run our businesses, how we set goals, prioritize stuff like that, and then also engage with us, ask us questions. We're always monitoring the chat. So if you're here, hello, Carissa, how's your week been?
It's actually been really good. I
Me
do
too.
want to touch on the last few days though. I just feel like we just kind of have to. Um, if you guys don't know, a lot has been happening in Southern California and it's really close to home. I live in the San Fernando Valley, which is and on the valley side, I'm actually on the western side, which is close to Thousand Oaks, Agoura Hills area. I'm just like a few exits away off the freeway, and it has been a really crazy couple days. It's hard to. I posted this on Twitter yesterday, but it's so hard when you're having such a great day or such a great week, and then you hear news about what's going on in your community, and you you know you feel immensely, I'm not going to lie, you feel really defeated in some ways because your little bubble is going well, but your community is suffering. So it's been really tough.
Yeah, Agoura Hills is pretty much like where I went to high school. So my parents aren't too far either. And I just found out that one of my friend's houses completely burnt down. Uh, Her parents were able to, kind of salvage two cars full of stuff. Um, and then they drove off, but I guess like her dad couldn't help it. So they drove back and just watched the house burn down. And it
Oh,
sucks because that's their house. They grew up there. It just breaks my heart. So yeah, it's been, I post this on my Instagram too. It's not that I can't, you know, it's just hard not to feel for what people are going through. It's really hard. And I've been telling Tom every day this week, like, you have no idea how lucky I feel for everything, like just for this moment, for this house, for this life, that I freaking woke up today, the whole thing. And I don't know, I guess it's just, gotten me to reflect and kind of put things in perspective. But there's just a huge part of me that wishes I could do more. So yeah.
yeah. I actually just wrote a blog post that was unplanned. But I just felt like, you know, I just had to post it where I'm tired of just sitting back and just being like, well, that sucks. I'm praying for you, like it's just not enough. While I'm still going to continue to do that, there just has to be more. As a community, we have to help each other. We have to encourage, spread positivity out there to try and combat all the negative things that you see. I mean, with the brush fires happening, with the shooting in the same day, I mean, moments, like within 24 hours of each other, that community just needs people to just take action. Can't just sit back and just be like, I'm over here, like we've got to do more. So I am going to be doing what I can to find out what I can do to help them, help the community, and just kind of be there for people. Even if I don't know them directly, I just want to help. I want to be that positive moment in like what is a really, really sucky situation right now.
Yeah, ditto. Keep me in keep in the loop if you find anything. If you like, you know, I've also been monitoring all of the online, you know, news and chatter and what people are trying to round up to do together that's like positive about it. So, you know, if you see anything, let me know.
Yeah, I definitely will. Last year, Ninong's, when the brush fires were happening, there was a donation spot here in Chatsworth where they said like what they needed most of was like water and basic necessities like toilet paper and stuff like that. So some of the employees and I, like, we collected things and I dropped it off. Because sometimes you just don't think about it. Like you forget that, like, if someone's house burned down, I mean, they need a place to shower, they need shampoo, they need paper towel, just clothes, even. Like, it's just anything that you could possibly give is very useful. So, but I'll keep you updated. I haven't seen anything except for like blood drives and stuff like that going around. And I heard that once people found out about that, they were like lining up and they were completely full. So it's really encouraging to see that people are like being proactive, which is nice.
Yeah, agreed. So, it sucks, but
Yeah, I know. But that being said, it I think I feel the same way that you feel. You just, no matter how much you feel like you come up short, you're just grateful for what you have, because things like this definitely put our lives into perspective. And it makes us have a more grateful heart. And it motivates us in a different way, which it's unfortunate that things like this have to, or like have to kind of push us to feel that. But, it really does. And that's why I just had to write that post, because I'm so tired of like just being like, oh, I don't want to talk about touchy subjects or whatever it is. But, uh, in a world like this, just gotta like share that positivity, share encouragement, share real life struggle, just so that people feel like they're not alone and
yeah.
they're not the only ones going through stuff like that. I
Yeah.
just had to talk about it.
And like, you know, at the end of the day, we're creators.
Mm.
So this is how we express ourselves.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I totally get it.
But
Um,
that being said,
yeah.
aside from all those things that are happening, I've been having like a good week. I think last week, I think I told you last week, where I just felt like it was the last straw of all that like negative um negative air that was just like looming around me. I just feel like this week I made a decision that that was going to stop. Nothing has necessarily changed except my attitude. And I think that is just in itself a huge thing. When you feel, especially on a week like this, where like, bad things are happening around you, you make a conscious choice on how to feel about it and what to do about it. And this week, I'm so glad that I made that choice to just go, you are going to be productive. You're not going to let life pass you by. You're not going to let your circumstances define your attitude. You are in control of your attitude and how you respond to things. And when I had those affirmations kind of just in my head, I started off my day in a way that would set me up for a positive mind and a positive heart. And because of that, I feel more accomplished, even though not much has changed.
Mindset is everything. Totally.
Yeah.
And straight up it's funny because I am the most like skeptical, practical person despite my optimism. But I really like, you know, like energy is something that I have a hard time wrapping my head around, and like these, kind of like ethereal subjects.
Mhm.
But the one thing for sure that I truly believe in, and I would be willing to bet there's scientific data to prove this, is that, is psychology.
Yeah.
Is that, you really do, and there are tools that like mental tools. Sid, my mentor, used to tell me about this all the time. There really are mental tools that you can use or kind of like exercise to help you navigate your feelings, change your mindset, that affect everything. And this past week, it has been week 1 of my 12-week year. And like you said, not much has changed. It's not like I got anything new or met anybody new, or like, nothing drastic has changed from last week to this week. But oh my gosh, it's been night and day in terms of productivity,
Yeah.
what I feel like I've gotten done. And also, with everything that happened, uh, being really intentional with what I spend my time on.
Yeah.
And this is actually something I want to talk to you about. And I just got a text that my phone meeting got pushed. So we're good for
Yeah.
It'd be funny if she was watching this. Um, so yeah, like, I well, I don't want to, because I think you were going, it was your term, but basically, I've been really making sure that everything I do is for a purpose, for a very measurable, smart goal. Smart as in specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely. And really, because my whole 2.5 years, I've just been like, yeah, build the brand, grow the vlog, meet people, and it's like, how do you know if when enough is enough? And if you keep doing it that way, then you're never going to feel accomplished, and you're always going to feel overwhelmed. But now it's crazy. Like, I felt like I finished all my goals on Wednesday.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's a
straight
good
up.
feeling.
I was like sitting on the floor, not sure what to do.
Yeah.
But anyway, you were going.
I mean, to go off of that, I think same goes for me. I've been telling you that money has been tight for us personally. And, with a brick and mortar store, it's similar to having like, an online store, product or service. You're just kind of waiting, you just kind of make the excuse that like no one is visiting, no one's going to your website, no one's walking through the door, whatever it is. So there's no sales to be had. And you just kind of say, well, if they walk in, then that's my moment. But because I just turn my perspective, instead of waiting for people to walk through the door or whatever, I just kind of told myself, well, you have the time, utilize it. Don't just, I think we were touching last week on the idea of how valuable our time is and how that's our most valuable asset. And I just was thinking to myself, if I'm going to really change and something isn't working or it's not measuring up to what I was hoping it would be, then I've got to invest that time into re-strategizing and figuring out how I can leverage something else or something in addition. And with that being said, I decided for the restaurant, I knew this going in that, every business has its like slumps. And for us, after school starts again, in the fall, quote unquote, semester or whatever, it tends to die down a little bit for us. And every time during this time of year, I'm always like, oh, it's slow. It's slow. Money is tight. We don't have a lot of funds right now. And you would just kind of think after 5 years of tracking sales that I would do something about it. And I just haven't. And then this time around, I was like, well, if it's slow, then I've got to find a supplement to balance that out. And so what I did was, since it was slow, I put catering packages together for offsite event catering. I put a brochure together for banquets and venue rental. So if people want to rent out the restaurant or rent out the space, I have pricing ready to go, so that if someone inquires, I can respond really quickly, and have all my rates and everything set in stone and ready to go. And I decided, instead of just waiting for the customer, like I said, waiting for the customers to walk in, I'm ready to I have something ready to go that's supplemental. And now now all I need to do is send it out. There are people that walk in all the time and it's like, oh, do you rent out your space? And I say, yeah, just email me. Like, at this point, that's my fault for saying, email me. What I should be doing is saying, let me take down your email address and your phone number and let me send you the rates. But I didn't have it. So I was kind of using it as an excuse to buy time to have to do it, And I was like, nope, enough is enough. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to do this so that when they do ask, I have more of a likely chance of them to actually move forward with it, because I was the one that was proactive and I was the one that initiated getting the ball rolling. At that point, it's no one else's responsibility but my own.
Yeah, I did a similar thing this week also, just being proactive, because I regularly network. I'm on the board of directors of the Indio Chamber. I go to networking events. I actively seek out events where people are gathering and stuff like that, and introducing myself. But I knew I could have done something different, so I added to my 12-week year goals to actually follow up, proactively follow up. Because it was that thing. It's like, you give me a business card, I give you a business card. Okay, we're in each other's contact. Well, you call me when you think you need me, when really I should be the one like, hey, we talked about this. You mentioned that you were looking to do this video project or whatever. I'm the one. Like, that's,
Mm-hmm.
why is someone going to go out of their way to spend money unless they really, really need something, and that's super, super rare. So what I need to do is it's like customer service from the get-go.
Mm-hmm.
And just making, showing that like, hey, I'm thinking of you. People don't know what they don't know. So I'm, me being the expert, I need to be able to piece that together and offer them options.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's partially perspective too, because I've noticed that if I'm in a negative headspace and I'm not being proactive about the opportunities that do come, sorry, Evie, the opportunities that do come my way, and I just think of it as like, oh, it's a slow day, there were barely any customers. If I think that way versus saying every single person that walks in the door is an opportunity, if I switched it to that more positive attitude and just kind of said, every single person is the potential for a repeat customer. It's the potential for them telling their friends and family about us, or that person might be interested in renting out the restaurant for an event or something like that. If I make each customer count instead of saying that there aren't enough people, my attitude changes, and there's something that happens, with that mindset that makes it feel like abundance versus not having enough or lack of something, and because I feel like I'm more grateful and I have that more grateful attitude, there's a shift that happens with the conversations I have with the customers that do walk in the door. There's a vibe that comes out of me that I think they're more receptive to, because my attitude is changing. And I've noticed that just even within a week, like you said, nothing has really changed for you, but you're maximizing every single opportunity you're having by following up. And that is a long-term investment into, one, maybe making a friend that you never would have made in the first place, and two, potential for more business, because then you're going to start creating a relationship with that potential client that can turn into who knows what. the opportunities from there are just like limitless.
Yeah, and going off of that, I think like because I've been doing a lot of cleaning and I save all of my to-do lists so that I could look back on them and just kind of, look back on what I was spending my time on. And having this different mindset really takes away the self-inflicted stress and overwhelm. It's like, I don't know, again, like everything is just so much more jam-packed with productivity. So instead of having like to do something that would take double the time, you just do something differently and it takes the same amount of time but has more potential. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like in my example, something that I've been doing this week for my 12-week year, my main goal for my 12-week year, if you guys didn't tune in last week, I read this book called The 12-Week Year, which is basically a system that is made so that you can accomplish what you would in a year in 12 weeks. So it gets you out of annualized thinking, and it just focuses on like, this is the 12-week goal, and you have steps to achieve that and stuff like that. But anyway, so like this was my first week, and my goal is to close $15,000 in new clients by the end of my 12-week year, which is the end of January. Ambitious, but I'm gonna strive for it. But because that's my main goal, it's shifted everything. Like I look back at my old to-do list and just like I can't believe I was so stressed out and overwhelmed by these things. Not that they weren't strategic, but because I wasn't narrow focused on a goal, it's like you're never going to be, you're never going to hit a finish line. Like
Right.
I think back to, oh my God, I have to daily vlog and then I have to create content for every single social media platform. And then I have to go to every networking event. And then my freaking inbox is like full of all these like newsletters that I want to create graphics for so I can send out for my newsletter. And it was just this whole thing. Like it was just too much where just every day I felt like crap. I just felt like I was begging for more time in the day. Whereas now, okay, so since my goal is $15,000 in new clients, those are definitely mostly going to be clients that are in the Coachella Valley, like people I can actually meet.
Mm-hmm.
Now, like, okay, my method to hit that, one of them is to post daily on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter. But I used to spend all this time thinking like, okay, do I upload to the Facebook page, HeatherJustCreate, and then do I share it to Heather Ramirez, like my profile, but it doesn't get enough reach because it's coming from a page, and like, oh my God, it would take forever. And I'm like, okay, no, let's think. Coachella Valley, these people are directly friends with my Facebook profile. That's how we connected. So forget HeatherJustCreate the stupid page. Like, who cares about that right now?
Yeah.
Don't make it hard for them who I'm trying to target. And now that whole entire process is like, I'm done with the whole thing in an hour, which it would have taken me forever. And it's the best. And I've gotten great response only from doing it for a week.
Yeah. I think that's one thing that you and I always do. I think part of the reason why our accountability sessions tend to be so long is because we overthink things. And then we're like, wait, so what do you think I should do? Should I post it here? Should I write this here? What is like we just overcomplicate things to the point where it takes us longer because we want it to be perfect. And going back to what you said last week about done is better than perfect. We've heard that how many times on so many different platforms from so many different people, yet we're still like, wait, what's the strategy? Like, how complicated do we want to dive into this? We obviously want to dive way, way too deep. And then we're so in our head that we don't just put it out, and we forget to do the simplest thing, which is think of it from their perspective. Where are they? And then that answers the question quickly. It's one and done, which leads me to just kind of I think my goal for next year, which is kind of like pushing itself into this year, which is minimizing everything. You know, I want to live a minimalist life, not just in my personal, but especially my professional life. I think at one point I did do that and I applied it and I was like, you know, enough is enough. I'm just so tired that I just don't want to live like this anymore. I don't, you know, you get to that point where you've just overcomplicated things and stressed over things too much where you're just like, forget it. I don't want to feel this way. And instead of pushing myself to that breaking point, I've kind of decided, no, I'm going to do that before I just explode and I just have that mental burnout breakdown. And I'm like, no, I'm going to make a conscious effort to live more mentally healthy, if that makes sense. And that starts with my business because I'm an entrepreneur and my mind is always obsessed with my business. And if I want to live that minimalist life personally, I have to implement that professionally, you know, and it starts with simplifying things like that. Your marketing plan, your sales goals, your, you know, your priorities when it comes to business. We have so many ideas and so many things that we want to do, but then because we have that great mind of thinking big and wanting to do big things, we forget that it takes little incremental steps. Those simple little incremental steps catapults you forward toward those big picture things. And
Right.
when you start to simplify it like that, it becomes more realistic, it becomes more attainable, and it becomes like, it doesn't become a dream anymore. It could actually become reality.
Right. And that's, I'm starting to sound like a cultist, but that's what the 12-week year says. It's like, you know, as if you set the goal, you commit to it at the beginning of the 12-week year. And then there's no question on whether you do it or not. And greatness doesn't happen overnight. It happens when you do the little incremental things and you just stick to it. And that's the problem I've always had is there's never, I'm very enthusiastic. I'm willing to work hard, but because of, me figuring stuff out, there's no one way to do this. So I'm trying everything. I understand like why I've done everything the way I've done to this point. But now it's just like, like posting on social media every day used to be something I stressed out. I can't tell you how much time I have spent stressing out over that. And now I've just done it. And it's not even stressful. I look forward to it because it's like something I feel accomplished. Just by
Yeah.
simplifying, just by like, if you just stick to the system and trust the process, you're going to hit your goal.
Right. I think that's that being said, I remember the accountability meetings we had when we were just you and I, we weren't doing live streams at the time. All of it was about strategy. It was all about like, okay, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to do it this many times a week, we're going to do it every hour or and it what's the honestly, like, yes, it might be true. The strategy might help, but in the end, it's whether you do it or not, and if that makes you feel more pressured, the strategy makes you feel more nervous about it or anything like that, then you're not going to do it.
Well, here's the thing. I look like I'm going to heaven right now. Hold on, let me close the blinds. All right. So here's the thing. Like, I think because, of what we do, we're social media, we're digital content creators. And there's this pressure to always be accessible, to always be creating content, to always be present as much as we can everywhere. And so we do strategize, and I feel like that is important. But what happens is that in the midst of execution, like for me, okay, I'll upload a video. This is like something I struggled with this week. I did Heather's Happy Hour on Wednesday. It hasn't even hit 60 views. So the analyst and an analyst, the analyst in me, the strategist in me sees that as a miss, as a loss, as like, well, is that something I want to be spending my time on? Because, 7,300 subscribers, not even 60 views. Is this even worth it? Maybe, and that's where the stress comes in. And that's where I start to, then instead, what I want to do is now dedicate time to re-strategizing again, but this is what I really like about the 12-week year, is that I don't think I ever gave anything I've done a solid chance, because I've never been, I know for sure I haven't been consistent with something for 12 weeks. Maybe I've done it for a month. I know I did daily vlogging for like 2 weeks. I'm sure there are things I've been consistent on, but to give it a solid chance, not just in social media time, which is, real quick, but for real, to set the precedent, not just for me and my routine and how I do things, but also for the audience, so that they can start to expect, like, okay, Heather's Happy Hour happens every Wednesday.
Right.
Or she's going to post something every day on Facebook, Instagram, and I just haven't done that. And so,
yeah, I want to kind of touch on consistency, just because it's also something that I've always struggled with, because you immediately want to, if something doesn't work from day one, where you're, because you're in our own heads, we're in our own head again, where we're strategizing and we're like, okay, we're going to launch this thing. This is the date that I want to start doing it. So I'm going to pre-plan, and you start building the hype up in your own head. And then when you release it, you're like, oh, it was a miss. It didn't work. It didn't pan out the way I was thinking. That happens to me all the time. And something that I have learned from being in the restaurant business, and like just having to having that reach that I have with the restaurant, because everyone needs to eat. There's just this big potential for that business. And say I come out with like a new menu, for example. If I launch the new menu, because this is I just did this past weekend. If I launch a new menu on Saturday, and then one item that I was so excited for, and I was so sure that people were gonna order it, it was gonna be a big hit, was a flop. It didn't get ordered once over the weekend or something like that. I'm so tempted to just kind of go, okay, I'm gonna remove it off the menu. It didn't work. It didn't sell. Why? Because strategically, I have to spend money on it, right? I have to buy groceries. I have to pay labor to prep. And then if it doesn't get ordered, I have to throw it away. It's a waste, So I'm always so tempted to just go, oh, it didn't work. But I didn't give it a chance, like people are creatures of habit. No matter what you want to say, whether you're adventurous or you like to try new things, the bottom line is we are creatures of habit. And when people are used to a certain thing, when you introduce something new, it's always going to be a process. People might not take to it right away. People might, who knows? But if you don't give it enough time, you'll never really know the true data. When anyone does a study, a scientific study, it's a long period of time. It's never a day. It's never just a week. It's probably years at a time, because it takes time to collect that data to actually see the changes or the variables or the consistencies that they're looking for. And I have seen that doing something for 3 months even is not even enough time to see the data to make something a true like fact, or a true reason for you to push one way or the other. That I have learned seeing people coming in and out of my restaurant, and like the reactions that we get. Some things are hits from the get-go. Some things take a little bit of time. Other things are just a no-go. But if I only put it on there for a weekend, no, it's not enough.
Especially for you, because you don't, I mean, not obviously everyone you serve doesn't come in on one weekend. So, like, you know, a customer who wasn't there on weekend 1 might come on weekend 2 and be like, "Oh, cool."
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah, that's the same thing for me too, is like, you know, I I think there's a very select few subscribers, shout out to you guys, that watch every single thing, which is awesome, but I think, like, you know, for like Casey, I don't watch every single thing. I'm a huge fan and I'm subscribed, you know, but I just can't I cannot watch all of the content on all the channels I'm subscribed to. I just can't.
yeah, exactly. And it goes the same with like your preference too, you know, because I'm subscribed to Casey's channel and there are certain videos where I'm like, okay, that doesn't really pertain to me. So I'm just not going to watch it, you know, because there's another video that might. And your time, like we said, is very valuable. So if you're going to put out content on there, of course, you got to. I think one thing that Casey's very good at is like he stays true to who he is and he just accepts that fact. He's like, you know, there are certain videos people aren't going to watch and then there's other videos that people aren't going to watch, but I'm just going to be me. And I think that we always forget because sometimes the strategy or doing what we think people will like affects who we really are or what we want to do with certain things, you know, and it starts to get really muffled because we dig too deep into the strategy of things and we don't even know what the real data is yet. You know,
Yeah,
we don't know what the demographic or what the target market of our audience is. And then we just jump to conclusions without giving it a little bit of time to process, you know?
totally. I don't know, my voice just cracked. I'm just gonna check into the comments here. Ian Corzine says he uses bullet journal for the follow-up, which is what you do kind of, right?
Yes. And I love the bullet journal
That's
system.
awesome.
It's amazing.
Black Girl Entrepreneur is here. Hey, Peach. Eco Hair Braider course is here also. James and Mark chimed in. I recently spoke to someone who went to Japan and how they treat customers there versus here, and the return can be enormous due to maximizing on the opportunity on a single person. Exactly. Doji says, it's very interesting watching one of your videos on Facebook over YouTube. Would you recommend more than one accountability partner? Yeah, that's why I don't think I can. It's hard.
Yeah, I was going to say probably not for me personally. I mean, it could be different for other people, but I think being an accountability partner for someone is already a huge responsibility, just like being a mentor is. And I think that uh, trying to splice yourself into multiple, you know, to having multiple accountability partners, I wouldn't see really the benefit because I would think, but I could be wrong and it could be different for everyone, but I would think that I would want to be able to talk to one person that really gets me and that takes a lot of work. You know, even for Heather and I that have known each other since we were like 7, um, it still took time for us to really get to know each other's goals and wants out of our businesses because we knew each other personally, but um, professionally, we still had to get to know each other. And that isn't a huge investment of time. Like it took us, what, 2 years to really get to this point where we're really like bouncing off of each other, helping each other in a really, really, really valuable way.
Yeah, and you have to create a system too. Like that isn't something you could just implement from day one.
Yeah.
You have to like feel it out. Is this what we talk about? Is that what we not talk about? What's relevant? What's not? Figuring all that out is hard. But I do, you know, I don't think anything's ever going to compare to what Chris and I have built for me. That is, I am open to checking in with people. Like I have, you know, friends and connections here in the Coachella Valley that I check in with on a regular basis. But you know, again, it's different from what Chris and I do. Really quick, Jason Mark says the views is one metric, but I did think it was a great opportunity for Stephanie to get comfortable being on live and on the platform. I'm more inclined to watch a video of hers now than before.
Yeah.
and yeah, I think James is referring to Heather's happy hour this week, where I had Stephanie Green as my guest, and agreed. I mean, she's never done YouTube Live, so that was a cool experience, huge learning experience for her.
Yeah. As a viewer as well, I think that I love that Q&A format that you kind of had, because
you're the fourth person to tell me that.
Yeah, I think it just worked really well, because knowing you, and see, this is where I think accountability, being accountability partners works. It resonates so well with who you are personally and for your brand, because the whole thing, it with that particular happy hour, Heather's happy hour, it was like all encompassing. You know, it worked with your brand. It promoted a client that you're currently working with. You were able to ask questions that were not only benefiting you, but benefiting other people. And that's just your message as a person in general. So I just felt like it was a really good one. It was a really good one.
And this is like, when I watched the replay, note to self, Heather, just to remind myself, like, I've committed to just doing Heather's happy hour every week. Okay. And I know that whatever I commit myself to, I'm going to do my best. So I don't want myself to be distracted by numbers right now, because that is not the goal. The goal is just to execute.
Yes.
Freaking weeks, and then we'll talk. You know?
Yes.
I just want to be able to trust myself to do what I do with what I've said I'm going to do. So, yay.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. James and Mark, I took out the trash and I kept it on just to hear you guys. It was an engaging conversation. Sweet. Yeah, so actually this brings me to the question I have for you, Carissa, and then I have to go.
Okay.
But this is the one thing I struggled with this week. So I smashed everything. I told myself to go to 2 networking events. I did. I went to 3. One of my goals is I have to kind of inbox 0, where I make sure to follow up with everyone and respond to everyone by the end of the day, which I've done. Still have to fold in YouTube into that. Been really bad. But speaking of YouTube, that's the thing, because I don't, like, yesterday I had time to vlog, I had time to upload, but I literally didn't know what to make, because, you know, it didn't help that I was discouraged by the low numbers for Heather's happy hour. But I it's almost like I lost my voice. Like, I don't know what to vlog anymore. You know, and I know that, you know, just create more. Anything I create contributes to something. I know that. Like, I know that I'm building up my skills. That's just, you know, it's cool for potential clients to meet me in person, go to my channel and be like, oh, wow, she uploaded something yesterday. I get that. But also, if my goal is like $15,000, I don't need to create content anymore on YouTube to close that, you know, because it's like, for the people I'm working with, I have enough on the channel already to prove what I can do. And, you know, I guess, like, it's the balance between, obviously I want to document the journey, but I don't know. I just don't, it's like, what am I documenting now?
Well,
take.
I think that as a business owner, as a person, as an entrepreneur, there's waves of things, you know, and I think that for you, I can sense that you are kind of unsure with what you're going to do with, I can tell you're unsure with what you're going to do with your YouTube channel. You're kind of testing things out again and trying to see what works. And I think that, like, you have this want to still continue to share. Maybe you just don't know how, or, you know, what that means for your YouTube channel. And my suggestion, or my personal advice, is to just let it simmer in the back of your head while you're focusing on other things, you know, because that's what happened for me with the podcast. I just kind of said, no pressure. Just forget about it for now. What's the point of uploading something or posting anything that you're not completely happy with, unless you feel like, it's all your decision, and there is no right or wrong answer. But I feel like, because of what I experienced with my podcast, and I wasn't sure what to do with it. I knew I wanted it to be a tool where I could reach people. And I feel like that's how you feel about your YouTube channel. I just kind of felt like I needed to find the right purpose for it. And my time is so valuable that I didn't want to just post things that were irrelevant just to post.
Well, that's the thing, because, there, okay, so with the 12-week system, I could say, post, do Heather's happy hour, or well, that's a bad example. Like, post on social media every single day in order to help me close $15,000 in new clients. So I don't look at how many likes it gets. I don't look at like who shares it or how many views the clip gets or anything, because I'm just measuring whether I executed. That's the thing I'm measuring. Did I post? Period. Right. And I can't seem to figure out what the goal is for the vlog, because, it's really frustrating to put in 3 hours, into creating, editing, and uploading, if not more. And then, not really getting a good response from it. And I don't want to, like, I feel bad, obviously, because you guys are subscribers watching this, but like, I don't want to seem ungrateful, but also it's just like, I want to make sure that it's the most effective use of my time. So, hey, I'm down to daily vlog if I knew that there was a correlation between like daily vlogging and increased number of subscribers, increased number of views per video. If there was that like thing, and there isn't that thing, like, I can't prove it where I can say like, don't look at the numbers, just upload 3 times a week.
Right.
It doesn't matter how many views you get per video, just upload 3 times a week.
Well, I think that also goes back to you have to get to that point where you have to ask yourself or remember why you started the vlog in the first place. It wasn't for the numbers. It wasn't for anything except for yourself. You know what I mean?
See, this is why you're my accountability partner, because the love of my life, Tom, told me the exact same thing. It was straight up just like, this was fun. That's the only reason why you did it.
Yeah. You had no idea what your vlogs would turn into. You weren't even calling them vlogs when we were talking about it in the beginning, and I think that's why my advice would be to just let it marinate, because when you did stop vlogging for a little while, you were talking to me about how much you missed it. And if it starts to feel like an obligation, and you feel like you don't see any return, then why do it? If you feel like it's a waste of your time, then why do it? Because you're in this 12-week year where you feel like you're pushing toward a goal, which is great. But my podcast, my blog is almost like your vlog, your YouTube channel. It doesn't do anything for me except for the pure joy of doing it, having a voice, having a place where I can share with people, and whether they read it or not, yes, it matters a little bit, but I have to remind myself that it shouldn't, because the whole point of those things is for me. To be able to look back on those things and see where I came from is huge for me. And that's why I do it. And that's why I don't want to stop. And even if I don't get anything from it except for personal gain, that's still enough for me, because, part of your goals that you shared for your 12-week year was like to lose some weight, consistency and stuff like that. If you decide that vlogging will help you with consistency because it's a practice that will help teach you habitual positive things, then do it, But I think you need to take a step back and see if it does still have value for you. I mean, as a subscriber, I hope that there is still value in it for you because I want to continue watching you. But if it doesn't, then it doesn't, you know, and that's coming as your friend and accountability partner, not subscriber. It always has to come back to whether it'll benefit you, you know, whether that's financially, personally, professionally, there's got to be a benefit.
Exactly. So, like, I don't want to, I never want to, especially for this YouTube channel, I never want to upload for the sake of uploading.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. See, and this is why you're my accountability partner, because it's exactly what I needed to hear. And that's totally what I wrote down. So you're the best. Really quick. Oh, Kingflip, what's up? Haven't seen you in a while. Kingflip says, how should I vlog making a documentary without giving it away? How should I vlog making a documentary without giving it away? I'm not sure what you're asking. So re-ask it again or give me more info. But anyway, I have like 5 minutes. Do you want to tell me more about like your week and your goals?
Yeah. So like I said, this week, not much has changed except for my mentality. And that's because last week I told you that I need to outline what my responsibilities are. I want to create a routine. And I feel like I'm on my way to start doing that. So this week, I want to continue with that. Whenever I wake up, I just, I have this mental space where I'm just grateful to, one, be alive, you know, and that I feel like sounds so minuscule and maybe kind of cliche even, but it has changed my perspective because as we've been talking, I told you, I'm just grateful that people are walking in the door. So every person that walks in, I want to make sure that they have a good experience, at least to the best of my ability. I mean, I can't control how people feel or external factors or anything like that. But I just want to make sure I know that I did my best to be positive, and be grateful for every tiny little thing, even if that means I come up short in the big picture, you know? And so this week, my goal is to push myself to be a little bit more fearless. I wrote a blog post today about how I have these moments where like I'm afraid to share things that I'm really passionate about because I'm scared of criticism or hate or just I'm just scared to like ruffle feathers. And I want to be more fearless because I'm never one to be rude in my execution anyway. I never want to impose feelings or beliefs. I just want to be able to share them. And I tend to get in my head about being afraid to do that in fear of backlash, you know? And I'm tired of it. You know, I'm like
I think that's me too. Is like I think that's why I haven't been vlogging, is like I just tell Tom instead of vlogging.
Yeah. I'm right there with you. I sometimes Charlie and I talk about something that is like a huge hot button issue, and is a very sensitive topic that most people are like, oh, you know, I've just decided not to talk about that because I don't want whatever. But I think that like, I want to, and I want to show people that like, you can talk about things that are sensitive to others without making them feel like you're encroaching on their beliefs or personal space. And I feel like I'm naturally like that. I'm like, okay, if you don't believe what I believe, that's totally fine. You know, my job isn't to change your mind. My job is just for you to see where I'm coming from, you know, and and just share that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, I just feel like sometimes people need a different point of view. And people are too afraid nowadays to share that in fear of the same fears that I have, you know? And I just don't want to. I just want people to see that like we can all live in harmony and have our own beliefs without being so angry and like feel like the world is evil. There are positive people out there. And I feel like we are the ones that need to have stronger voices and needs to share, because the people that are angry and rude and like want to spread negativity, they have really loud voices. And if we all come together as a positive collective and like drown those people out, I feel like others will have more hope in humanity, you know? Because you know, when you see those like posts on Facebook or on Instagram that make you cry because you see someone do good for others, to me, it's very sad that it makes me cry, because that just means there's less of that out there.
Right. That should be the thing you're jaded to.
Yes.
Yeah.
That should be normal. That should
Yep.
be like the norm in this world. And the fact that like we're moved by simple acts of kindness is almost saddening.
Yeah.
You know? And so I'm tired of it. I'm like, you know, while I have the courage, because I know it's going to go away and then it's going to come back and it's going to go away. But while I have the courage, I'm going to do it. I'm going to just put myself out there and just share what I believe in, and try and be kind and positive all as much as I can to hopefully help other people.
See, and this is another reason why you're my accountability partner, because that is like, I mean, just listening to you, I'm like, wow, why did I stop vlogging? I'm not saying that my vlog is like the most positive thing ever. But my goal with every vlog, no matter how, random they might seem, is for the person to have a positive feeling after watching it.
Yeah.
That's my goal. And so like, it's also, motivating for me to create that thing. So it's positive for me. It's positive for the people that watch it.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly why I blog, I think we have a commonality in that regard, because to me, it's important just in that to have like a positive space, and I don't tolerate like anger, hatred toward anyone. And I think that there needs to be more places where people are more understanding instead of collecting toward like-minded people. I'd love to see unlike-minded people start to respect each other and just say, agree to disagree, and I still love you. I still respect you. Just because you feel this way about, I don't know, healthcare or gun control or whatever, or faith or religion, whatever hot button topic it is, it doesn't matter, because agree to disagree, and that's it. And I'm still going to show you respect, and I'm still going to be kind to you, and I'm still going to believe the way I believe while still be courteous and kind,
Yeah. James M. Mark said, fearless, that's a good thing to work toward. And then he said, Brittany or Christina. Brittany.
I knew you would say Brittany, obviously.
Oh, yeah, dude. Come on. That's not even, I will totally judge you if you're in the other camp. I'm just kidding.
Brittany, yes, but Christina in burlesque.
Okay. Yeah, we did. Wasn't that us? We had the genie in a bottle.
Yeah.
God, we need to find those videos, dude.
No, can we not?
Oh my God, I want to see them.
Oh my gosh.
All right, dude, I have a 3:00 meeting, so I gotta go.
All right. Yeah, I gotta head over to the restaurant too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you have 3:00 too.
Yeah.
All right. But yeah, good talk. Thanks for tuning in. I just realized I didn't unlist the other one.
Oh yeah, I did see it still on your
What do you think? What's your take on that?
Honestly, you can do whatever you want. I don't know. Honestly, I think it wouldn't matter either way whether you left it up there or not, because personally, when I see live feeds that are like that long, I'm not going to really rewatch the whole thing. So I don't really see that many people watching it after the live. Honestly, I don't know, but that's just me because of the way I watch YouTube.
Yeah. I get it. All right, I'm gonna leave it and see what happens.
All right.
But okay. Good talk. And I'll catch you later.
Yes.
Thanks for everyone tuning in. James and Mark says those videos have to make their way to the internet. Yeah, that's totally not going to happen. It'll be house party view in person situation.
And then never watching again for another 10 years.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. Bye everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already, go check out Chris's channel at JustKissa. She's also on Instagram and she has her website, justkissa.com. And we will catch you guys later. Bye.
Bye.